it's Erica. Are you looking for a socialist to tell you how to run your capitalist business? Well, you've come to the right place. Story time. I've been an hourly worker most of my life. I noticed rather quickly that this was not going to get me out of the poverty cycle. Big surprise, working for $7.25 an hour, even at 40 hours a week, is not enough to lift you out of poverty in this country. As a self-described hard worker, the flaws were evident. No matter how hard I worked, my wage was the same. So I moved into a tipped position, thinking this gave more credence to my personal skills and my abilities. However, it also became clear pretty quickly that this limited my wages at whatever the person I was serving happened to think I was worth at the time. Sure, I would make that minimum wage amount, but that's the same amount of money I was making at the other job, and now I have to be a server. So things didn't work out there either. I looked into some other industries and was attracted to sales. My family's been in sales for a long time, and I'm a pretty charismatic person, so this made sense to me. Sales is an interesting business. It's focused on relationships, building connections with people, installing trust and care, and really giving a crap about other human beings. It's kind of fundamental to the idea of sales, at least the sales I was doing, which is insurance. The connections I made in sales eventually led me to my future business partner. He was young and idealistic and had a $10,000 credit card that I could use. I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. No harm, no foul. Maybe I'll learn something along the way. And besides, honestly, it's probably not going to work out and it's not going to cost me anything. So let's give it a shot. Needless to say, I was obviously pretty surprised when I got a call from a massive company who basically offered me my own company on a silver platter. They offered me the job of being a short-term vacation rental manager. They are a management company online, so they need people on the ground to do the actual labor, and I was happy to try it out. And so we jumped. He gave me that $10,000 credit card. I quit my insurance job, knowing full well that I would continue to receive renewals. Think of this as like a UBI. Each month I get paid. I don't have to do anything for that money since I've already done the work. So I am now receiving my UBI. I've got my $10,000 credit card, and I've started working as an Uber driver. This gives me the flexibility to be able to drop everything at the drop of a hat and go take care of whatever needs to be done at the company, especially since I have no idea what I'm doing. So there's a lot of having to drop everything and go take care of stuff on an emergency basis. I'm very much still learning at this point. Now I want to take a minute to talk about how lucky I am. I have a family who I knew would support me if things hit the fan and I had to start all over. I had a business partner that I could discuss everything with in detail for hours and hours and hours. I had a massive company whose interest aligned with mine and who wanted me to succeed and were happy to provide the resources necessary to my success. I want to make this very clear. I did not start my company on my own. There was a team of people behind me supporting me at every step of the way. There is no such thing as starting a company on your own. There's always going to be other people who have built up that industry and made it possible for you to even attempt to start your own company. Now, before I could run out and make the buco bucks, I had to ask myself an interesting question that I had never asked myself before. What am I worth? How does one calculate one's worth? Well, our current system says that the market will decide how much you're worth. But how does one decide? How does one know what the market will pay? Especially when you're doing a job like mine, which isn't just cleaning. I'm a manager. I take care of homes. I do plumbing, electrical. I change light bulbs. I fix toilet seats. I paint walls. I do landscaping. I do roof cleaning. I do everything I can possibly do to make sure that the renter is having a great experience. Customer service, tech trouble support, Any sort of thing I can possibly think of, or that the renter can possibly think of, I have to take care of. How do you begin to calculate a wage like that? So I went a different route. I decided to make a budget, to figure out how much money I needed to make, to base my wage around me and not them or the market or the client or the renter or whoever else wanted to decide how much money I was worth per hour. I looked at my budget. I made it forgiving and generous so that when something does come up, because it always will, I had some money in the bank. I had some security. I had a backup plan available, especially since knowing I was starting my own business, I would not have access to health insurance or any other benefit, retirement plan, really dental, vision, anything you could think of. I would have none of it. It would not be available to me unless I was willing to pay upwards of $1,000 a month for that service through really awful programs that offer me $10,000 deductibles. So, needless to say, I came up with a price that made sense for me. And I was shocked to find that this price was 1/4 of what I had been paid ever, even at the height of my money making career over the past 15 years at that point. So, this was incredibly interesting information. And as I started to grow my business and hire workers, I started to realize that no one accurately calculated their wage per hour. Most of my workers would say they were worth 1/3, sometimes 1/2 at best. After coming to this revelation about my own value and how I had no idea what I was worth, I knew I couldn't do that to my workers. I knew that I had to pay them way more money than what the market would say I could. Um, I knew I wasn't going to take advantage of them if I could avoid it. I knew what my costs were for the business, and I calculated how much I could give them while still leaving myself enough security to be able to run the company. And the fair wages that we found are fantastic. They're more than they've ever made in their entire lives. And we're doing pretty remedial work in a lot of areas. At the end of the day, I could not run my company without my workers. And we often say that everyone could just become a business owner like me. But then who would work for us? Who would be the workers? We need these people. They are the backbone of our entire society. Saying everyone should just start their own business makes absolutely no sense. We all know that it makes no sense, and yet it's our solution to everything. We'll just go get a new job and make more money, as if every corporation isn't out to take and rob you for everything you're worth. My workers, their dedication, their support, their guidance, their improvements, their commitment, their care has made my company trusting others to meet the expectations of whatever job they are executing is the foundation upon which everything else is built. This is as true for companies as it is for communities, governments, and sports teams. If a team cannot trust each other, they will not win. But what does it mean to trust in a person or a government? Does it mean that we praise them no matter what they do? Does it mean we depend on them for everything? Obviously not. It means we have expectations and we hold them to those expectations. We have to be able to rely on our government. Simply accepting that it sucks and always will is not an option. There is too much at stake. We have been told for too long we are owed nothing and we deserve nothing. Well, I call bullshit. I am owed better. I do deserve dignity, and I'm not leaving. Now, I've managed to find success in our current economic system of capitalism, so hear me when I say this. It sucks. This is not coming from some poor, bitter person who just couldn't figure it out for some reason. This is coming from someone who likes work. I love working. I love providing a service for folks. I love being able to give people a relaxing vacation. I am a successful small business owner, and I can say with absolute confidence that workers deserve more. They deserve democracy within their workplace, and they deserve to be treated with dignity and humanity. And not just because without them we would have nothing, but because that makes a better society and a better world for all of us. Now, we have a choice. Continue to compete for smaller and smaller portions of the pie, or throw out the idea that in order for one to succeed, someone else must suffer in poverty. There is a better way. We could multiply the pie. We have the capability of making the pie infinite if we choose to make that our goal and fight like hell for it. Now for a bit of a rant. For those of you that would say we can't pay workers a $15 minimum wage because it would kill small businesses, and you've never run a small business, please stop. You're not helping us. You're not helping the owners who have paid their workers a living wage for years now because we have a soul. The only people you're helping are the people who oppress and take advantage of human beings they rule over so they can make a bunch of money and buy a new Lexus. And for those small business owners that have decided they don't need to pay their workers $15 for a minimum wage, can I just say, you suck at business. Why is it that other companies, other industries that do the exact same thing as you are able to do it? Because I guarantee you, no matter what industry you look at, there is at least one company that has figured out how to pay their workers enough money that they don't have to be homeless. I guarantee you there is someone out there who has figured it out. And it's your job as the owner of the company to figure that out. Google it. Call someone, bring in friends and families, find experts, do your own accounting, do your own taxes, figure out what you're doing wrong and fix it. Because people being forced to live in poverty because you're too dumb to figure out how to run your company appropriately is unacceptable. It's been going on for too long, and it's your fault. Thank you. This has been your public service announcement. Hello there, fellow dreamers. Hello there, fellow dreamers. I continue to be Erica as I find her incomplete. Today we're discussing how to start your own company and how relying on the government and relying on people and teams and so much more.